Hello, welcome to Tuesday night team training. It's the 24th of the month. Ooh, tomorrow's last subscription run. We've got a special guest from corporate tonight to help us navigate the back office, just kind of the simple basics, especially towards the end of the month, certain things that we want to be looking for. But before that, we've got a couple stories to share. And before that, I just want to share my screen real quick and give some people a shout out. We're all running for that extra 400 SV this month for whatever special. Maybe you guys, if you're nice enough to Kim, maybe we can get it out of her what this is. But they're saying it's something special that we're going to hear about at the virtual corporate meeting, July 12th?
12th.
Coming up. So hopefully you're all registered for that. It's free to register. It's 1 hour, and we are going to hear about what this 400 SV does. But let me share my screen, and because I want everyone to see their names up here that have earned it. But this is who we've got so far. I know we've got a lot of people, and I checked this, you guys, about noon today. So maybe this afternoon, because I know some people were so close. So if you made it this afternoon, please shout yourself out for sure. But Summer West, Sherry Martin, Christy Vogt, Donna Mondorf, Gina Shelfo, Doc Mitchell, Gemma Lopez, Sylvia Birdsell, and Angie Harper. So congratulations, everybody, on that 400 SV. And we still have, what, 8 days left of the month. So it's definitely not too far off. We still have some time to get that. And again, so many of you are so close. So I'm going to make sure Kim shows you how to see where you're at as far as your SV. Okay. So with that, we're going to share 2 stories. So Ella, I'm going to introduce you first. Ella Blickenstaff, she lives here in Grand Junction, Colorado, and she's been on the team for a few years. And the way she came on board, you guys, is so cute. I totally forgot. She totally reminded me of that. So I'm going to bring you on, Ella, to share your story.
It's actually a really funny story. And pardon the background noise. I let them know about the Zoom call, but kids. But it's a ironic story because I had started having panic attacks that just came out of nowhere in 2020. And after a year of therapy, they were still happening, less and less, but they were still there. And I kept waking up every night with anxiety, which I'd never had before. And I refused to take meds for it. And so I remember I'd be waking up, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:33, just laying there in bed with just anxiety, and it was horrible. And then just to get up and get the kids ready for school, I was afraid to go to bed at night. Well, after about 14 months, my husband took me to Walmart and he goes, "You've got to get used to being around people." And I ran into another team member, Sheree, and it was so funny. I said, "Sheree, how are you doing? I heard you had a heart attack." And she said, "Oh, well, I'm recovering from my 5th one." And I said, "Your 5th? How is it you're still alive?" And she said, "Oh, I'm just lowering my oxidative stress." And I said, "You said 2 words, lower and stress. Hook me up." So she invited me to a Zoom call. I got on the Zoom call, and it took me a month and a half to try it because it was just too simple. There's no way something like this could work. So 11:30 at night, when I'm tired, afraid to go to bed, I'm going around the website, just trying to figure out, should I try this? Should I not? Somehow I added 2 products to my cart, and I thought, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Oh no, I didn't add 2 products. I added a starter kit. So I'm like, oh, okay. And well, I started taking the product, and my husband said, "Hey, if it doesn't work, you're out $50. No big deal." I slept through the night after 5 days, which I hadn't happened in my entire life. I've always been a light sleeper. So being able to sleep was just was worth it for me. And that's what sold me on the product. And I ended up going to my first convention, and I've been with it ever since. And I've slowly been realizing it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm just getting better.
Oh, thank you. I have seen you just really transform, Ella, like from being like this, so skeptical and like, yeah, lots of anxiety going on, to just being beautiful and glowy. And I'm really proud of you. So thank you for sharing your story.
My first convention's a story for another day, because that was funny.
Sherry's or Sheree, who introduced Ella, like, she does have an amazing story. The Widowmaker, she had a heart attack which should have killed her. It's called the Widowmaker, and very few, it's a very small percentage of people survive it. And her doctor said, well, you should have died. Like, what are you doing? And she said, I'm taking this Protandim. Because whatever you're doing, continue taking it. And then several months later, she got a scan just to check her heart. And this is like a fast story. There's a bigger picture here, but basically there is no disease in her heart. Like, the doctors were blown away. They were bringing in specialists to take a look at her heart scan, and usually there's like holes in it, and there was no sign of disease. It was crazy. And so I think that stories in Vitality Rocks. It's an amazing story. Okay, so without further ado, we are going to bring on this Gemma, who I have yet to meet, but I see her like in my back office. She's just enrolling like crazy. She enrolled as a consultant last month with Holly Hebert, and she's close to SC1. She earned the 400 SV. So I'm like, we need to get this girl on and introduce herself and share her story. So thanks, Gemma.
Everybody, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Gemma.
Happy to share my story. It's really quick. I'm a physical therapist. I've been in practice over 30 years, went into private practice, and I have been working so hard using my body. And interestingly enough, I was having bilateral shoulder pain and elbow, like tennis elbow, for on and off over the past year. And I got really frustrated. I was popping a leave like crazy. And I asked, I reached out to Holly. I'm like, okay, talk to me about this stuff that you're doing and sign me up for it. So that's what I did. I took it within, no lie, within 3 weeks. My pain was down about 90%. By the end of the third month, or almost to the third month, my pain was completely gone. I didn't change anything other than not swallowing a bazillion Advil anymore. And so I'm working pain-free, period, end of story. So it was a really easy story to share with my people, my circle. And there's so many other people I still have to share it with. But when something works for you, people see that I don't know, the change in you, I guess. And I think that speaks volumes. I don't really have to like sell anything other than just telling my experience. So thank you for having me on the team.
Thank you for sharing. And that's what we tell everybody, right? It's as simple as sharing your story. And if, like I didn't have my own story starting out, but man, I shared all the other stories, right? I shared Ella's story, I shared Sheree's story, just in all the stories we see in Vitality Rocks. It really is about sharing the story, huh, Gemma? Like,
Yes, 100%.
that's
Thank
simple,
you guys.
leading with your heart. So thank you and congratulations. And I look forward to seeing what comes of you and your business. We're super excited for you. And thank you for trusting Holly and saying yes. So you guys, we're gonna bring on Kim. I know I'm talking fast, but again, we try to keep this at 30 minutes, so we've got to fit it all in. And so Kim is a sales manager from corporate, and she has been 4 years with us, Kim. And she's been just our go-to person. And the whole sales team, you guys, are just amazing. They're just here for us and helping us with all of the things. And she is a professional encourager by nature. She spent the last 4 years helping teams crush goals and chase greatness with just the right mixture of tough love and laughter. When I'm not leading, this is from Kim, when I'm not leading from the front, you'll find me deep in a good book, cheering at a ball game, or soaking up life with my grandkids, usually while dreaming about my next cruise. I believe in sand between my toes, drink in my hand, and keeping the energy high, whether we're closing sales or sailing the Caribbean. Let's have some fun and make things happen. Nice. I love that bio. I just read it for the first time. You sent it to me early. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. And thank you for, helping us kind of navigate just the basics of the back office.
Yep.
Where do we find that 400 SV?
Yeah, and I'm going to share my screen.
Perfect.
And so I'm just going to kind of go over some things that I think are beneficial, especially to close out the month. First of all, you guys know when you log in, this dashboard, your summary is going to be your best friend. Now this is green because this is our test account, since I can't show you someone else's numbers, but really you want this to be at 300. because 250 would qualify you as a consultant too, but we're gonna all be better than that. So you always want this to be at 300. This is just gonna tell you where you're at for your group cells.
So Kim, can you go back to that first green, 300? So where is that 300 coming from?
Okay, that is going to be your sales volume. So that's you and your customers.
Okay.
Okay, you can take 150 of your personal cells. So you can't buy all 300, but you can take 150. Of course, you'll get the benefit of whatever you go over 150, but only 150 of your personal accounts. The rest has to come from customers, and all of it can come from customers if you want. You don't have to purchase anything, but we want to be a product of the products, and it's just good to be on subscription for incentives and promos.
And so just that being said though, guys, that most incentives, most promotions, we always have to have a subscription. So yeah,
Yep.
but we can count to 150 of the of our
Yep.
own personal order towards that. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, I would just always have an auto ship set up, you know, because that's a very good point. You don't
Yeah.
have to purchase anything, but even if an incentive or promo happens to come up that maybe you haven't heard about and you didn't maybe have a subscription set up, you might miss out. So
We're coaching our team to have 150 of their own order.
perfect.
An SV. Yep.
Okay, then this next, the 166 of 1,000 group sales volume, that's just telling you what you need for this next step. So if you're going for SC1, this is going to be 2,000. My mind just went blank, right? SC2 is 3,500, SC3 is 6,000. So whatever the next step is, that's going to tell you how far away. Customer sales volume, this is going to be towards your gem status. And you all know that Onyx, Emerald, Sapphire, Diamond, every time you increase to the next gem ranking, that's a 5% raise. So whatever gem ranking you're hoping to earn, this will tell you. And then just here will tell you if you have a subscription that's going to run or not. So I always just tell people, glance at this just to make sure you're where you need to be, especially the sales volume. I have so many people the day after the first day of the month that didn't get their sales volume in, and you won't get paid your rank. So very important. This down here is just, this is going to tell you new accounts. If you take a glance, like for your whole organization, again, this is just our test LifeVantage account saying that at this exact date last month, you're down 2, you've only enrolled 6 instead of 8, but the customers you're up. And then if you want to see personally where you are. So again, it's just kind of a glance. And then down here, this person's up for this same day as last month. Sometimes this can be confusing because it's such a fluid number, because if we have a big sale going on and maybe the end of the sale, let's say is like the 16th of the month, you could have a really big number for the 16th. And then when the next month, you're going to show the same day last month is down. I don't want to confuse people, but this number is just very fluid. It's a good, what's the word? Check, like a pulse on your organization, but be careful to not let it throw you off. And then just your projected subscription volume. That's just if every subscription goes through, no one cancels, none of them are declined. And so that's, again, just an estimate. So be careful with that too. Okay. Reporting is going to be your best friend, in my opinion, for the last little bit of the month. And then member summary. And it's going to take a minute, sorry. Maybe. So. Okay, while this is pulling up, get your 400 SV in. And if you went to convention, this is the last month to enroll a new person to try to help get to SC1 for the tennis shoes. So Okay. This one I don't use a whole lot. This just means that someone ordered last month, but they didn't order this month. And being a test account, it's not going to pull anyone up. And you guys, my computer's going super slow. Anyway, so if your subscriptions volume down, maybe, or just your volume in general, see if someone maybe placed a big order the month before that didn't order this month. Unsuccessful subscription report. Okay, good. I always click on this last order date twice. Click on it first time and that just brings up the oldest order, and you just want to see the orders that didn't process this month. So anyone that their order didn't process for whatever reason, I would be reaching out to them. Some people maybe didn't want it to run, and more than likely they did want it to run and they just needed to change the expiration date on their credit card, or they need a new credit card, whatever the reason. Most people that I've heard are appreciative when they reach out saying your subscription didn't run for whatever, you know, it was declined.
Yeah, so the verbiage I use is that, you know, hey, I just got a report. You know, I'm just getting a report of subscriptions, and it's showing me that your subscription run didn't run. So, you know, it could just be a matter of an expiration date changing, you know, just, and usually it is. And they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, or an address, the address changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't be scared or hesitant to reach out. And if you have a big team, it will show you who the enroller is, you know, because you could send it to, like Christy could send her report to Suzanne, or, you know, whatever, to let Suzanne work on it for her personally enrolled. So, but this should show your organization. So that's a huge one. And stellar title striking distance. This is one that's really good for people that are close to that next gem ranking. Because again, if you have someone in your team that's 40 SV away from getting a 5% raise, that's probably a really good call out to say, hey, Gemma, did you know that if you get 50 more volume in customer sales, you'll get 5% increase on your next check. So just, you know, look and see who's close. Next rank advancers, that's just people that are close to rank advancing. Again, another reach out to let someone know you're close to rank advancing. Back to paid as rank, I don't use as much. That just means that maybe someone, let's say, hit MC2 and then one time and then hasn't hit it again for 3-4 months, and they're close to hitting it again. So it could be beneficial. This is just everyone in your organization that's not on a subscription. So, you know, if you want to do reach outs, you know, copy and paste emails, let them know there's a new product. I mean, if there's not, but, or maybe like our peach nectarine. Hey, did you know that our Axio peach nectarine flavors permanent? You know, just a reach out opportunity if they're not on a subscription. These are the people that have it rank advanced, and I think like acknowledging, congratulating is a huge boost. And this is kind of like the back to if someone's hit a rank they haven't hit for a while. And then this one, if you want to know if your subscription volume's down for any reason, if you've had people that have canceled their subscriptions this current month, they will come up on here. And again, a really good opportunity for a reach out to see what's going on. Those are the main ones. And then this is just fun. If you're in other countries, it'll show you your volume in other countries. And then this shows you new enrollments for the month. And this is where you can check to see if you're close to that 400 SV. You would want to make sure that you are, you know, the enroller needs to be you, and it'll show how much the SV is. And there's a couple different places on here you can check that as well. You could check it in the dashboard summary. Down here, if you go to personal accounts, you click on those and it will show you the volume. Of course, test account, so it's not going to show you.
So Kim, can we go back to like what we learned the other day? So under, when you are on that new member
Uh-huh.
report, right? New member summary.
The new member enrollments
New
or,
member enrollments, I'm sorry, new member
Yep.
enrollments. And then PV, you can see that, like, yep, the PV, that's all
Sure.
the new consultants volume that came in, and then the CSV is your customer volume.
yeah.
Yeah. And just so you know, like you can click, show them how you can click on like enroller name. If you click on that one,
Double click
it's
on it.
going to do, because right now it's in chronological order. But if
Mhm.
you click on the name or click on any of those heading, it
Yep.
puts it in, yeah, category. So now you have them all, the people
Yeah.
all together. Yeah.
Yeah. That
And
and I use that all the time.
yeah.
And this is organization, or if you just want to see personal, you can just click on personal. But that's how you can check your towards the 400 SV. That's really what I use for the end of the month. Any questions or anything else you want to look at together, or you want me to go over?
Yeah, do you guys have any questions on kind of what to look for at the end of the month? Or just any back office questions?
While anyone's thinking of that, I'll show you one thing just in your detailed genealogy, just kind of something I use, when I'm working with people. Okay, and this has it. When I'm working with people, if they are saying, my volume is maybe down, or, who's down, I will go here and say, okay, in May, this was their group sales volume. In June, this is the group sales volume. So, okay, they're up in June. I always like to keep it just at least 2 months when I'm helping people, just to see their volume, to see if they're up or down. The one caveat though is this is going to be for the whole month of May, whereas this is just, of course, month to date. But detailed genealogy just shows you anything you need to.
Can you go up and show them like the columns? Like you can actually have this report look a little bit differently if you go to filter, oh, just where you just were, detailed genealogy.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're there. I'm sorry.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So she's in detailed genealogy, so you can change what you're looking at.
Yep. And if you just want to look at customers or consultants, you can filter it with just customers, consultants. And yeah, sometimes if you want to do a big email campaign, then make sure you clicked, email's already up there. There are a lot of different things you can choose. And then you guys know, I always use this and some people don't, but if you click on this blue arrow, it puts it into an Excel spreadsheet. And I mean, I'm pretty good with Excel, but I think as long as you know, like, how to filter and sort, it can tell you anything you want. You just put a filter on this top line, and then I will pull it by enroller. I'll pull it if they're a customer or a consultant. I pull it if they have a subscription or don't have a subscription. I mean, just my advice is, if you have a minute, download your detailed genealogy and just kind of mess around in there. It can tell you a lot of information. Okay. Any questions?
Let's see. Yeah, again, the biggest thing is that dashboard,
Mhm.
and just making sure you're qualified to get paid. And I will always post end of the month checklist in our Team Vitality Facebook group. So go one by one on that. And if you have any questions, let us know. But it's, we don't want you leaving any money on the table.
No.
You might be close to that gemstone rank, which is the AKA personal sales bonus.
That's
And then just having your SV that you need to get paid. Kim, what is the difference between logging into the back office and then using the app?
so supposedly there's not a huge difference, but there, people have pointed out things to me. They've asked me questions and I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. I don't have tons of, I can't really get into the app, so it's harder for me to see the differences. I say if you have a computer of any kind, it doesn't hurt to even check it just after the last subscription run. But let me look. It's supposed to show you pretty much the same thing. Let me log in to the test
So-
account.
Okay, well, so what I use the app for, you guys, and if any of you who are really savvy with the app, please share, but really like a quick look at your customers, right? Instead of logging into your back office, going to detailed genealogy and then entering the customer name or consultant's name, if you just go into your app and at the bottom here, you see the little people's heads. You can look at customers or consultants. You can look at their orders, their phone number, email information, their ID. If they're consultants, you can actually look at, see what their URL is. So that's a super quick way to find that. And then just kind of keeping, on the dashboard, kind of where your volume's at and how it's tracking from last month. And then if you click on summary after dashboard, well, for some reason, mine's saying forbidden. It's been like that for a week, but
Oh.
it should be the summary that you actually see. That
Yeah,
you saw Kim showing when you log into your back office. You see a summary.
yeah,
I,
that's showing.
I think that I use the app quite often.
Okay.
What I like about the app is that it's super easy to have all your customers and consultants right there, that you can check orders, tracking numbers, all of that. And then like when you share a cart, you just swipe up, and if somebody wants the PDF, everything's right on your fingertips. But as far as really getting a clear visual of the numbers, commissions, back office genealogy, your people, the computer is the way to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Holly. You can also grab your coupons really easily from your app. And then the ABC video is in your app. So you can share a lot of tools from your app. I'm coaching my new consultants to share the ABC video from the app and really use the app more, put their prospects in the app, so they can send messages from the app, and it actually will come from a different, unique phone number. So if you're sharing with maybe someone you just met on the street, you can share it from the app and it's not your personal phone number, which is cool too.
And the social media stuff too, Christy's back there underneath the papers. They can look for like different marketing materials there, which I really love.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions or anything you guys want to share as far as how you're looking at your numbers and tracking things?
Just one thing I will say really quick. So some people will be confused when they look just right here at the sales volume. Okay, so the customer sales volume is the volume towards your gem. It does not include your personal volume. And if you'll notice like this 810 that it has right here, that is the 660 plus 150 of this. So but just remember, some people will think that like this 810 is towards their gem ranking, and it's not. It's this a number right here.
And keep that, I was going to mention that, so thanks, Kim. And
Mhm.
keep that in mind when you're looking at your app also,
Yeah.
because you're just going to see that 810, for example, in your app. So unless you know what the volume was of what you ordered, you need to make sure that you back that out, because you're going to think you're only less than a couple hundred away from the next gemstone. And if you placed a $300 or volume order yourself, you're further away than you think. So that's where the app versus the back office might come in handy as well, because as Kim just explained, and thank you for that, because I think that's really important. I know a lot of people get hung up on that. You can see that in the back office, but that's not in the app. That was actually one thing I brought up at convention at the in the store of the things that could be added to the app. That was one of them. So thank you. And
Yeah.
and just one more thing that you had made mention of is that no, you don't need to have personal volume. We all want to have that personal volume in there. There should be something on subscription, as Kim and Christy both mentioned. For many reasons, obviously, and to get paid, but you also don't want to miss those daily or weekly bonuses. And if you don't have an active subscription, you could miss that daily bonus or that weekly bonus. And so I always tell people, don't cancel a subscription. Oh, I think I'll cancel my collagen because I want something else in a couple of weeks, but I'll make it active again before the end of the month. Keep it active, because you that week, if you sign somebody up, you'll miss your daily bonus. So always keep that active subscription. Juggle it around if you need to, but always make sure you have an active subscription.
Good point, girl. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think that covers it.
Yay.
That's, yeah, what we wanted you to cover. I sure appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for taking the time. Now, hopefully you get to go enjoy your night.
Gonna go to be at the ball fields. So
Yay.
Awesome. Okay, have a good
okay.
one.
Thanks,
Good
you
night,
guys.
Okay,
everybody.
thank you.
Good night. Good seeing everybody.
All right.